In today's training, we're going to be going over the SandBox Dance Floor enter and exit policy. Now, as you're going to hear many times in this training, SandBox has a zero tolerance policy for any dance floor infractions. So make sure that you're following this procedure anytime that you need access to the dance floor. Now, what is a dance floor? The dance floor is our matted area on location where our forklift operates. This is also where we store all of our loaded box inventory once it's delivered to pad. Now, as you can see here from this diagram, this is what your typical dance floor is going to look like. Now, there's a few different key points that I want to go over on here, just so you can better understand some of the lingo that may be in this training. The first area is where all the boxes are stored. This is our box storage area, and is where all of our loaded box inventory is staged while it waits to be pumped for a stage. Next is where this forklift is located. Now, this is what your true dance floor is, and is where the forklift operates and maneuvers around. The next thing that I want to point out is our loading tab. Again, you can see from this picture here, this is what your loading tab looks like. Also, this is what a loading tab looks like on an actual location. Now back on the diagram, we can see where that truck is staged. Now again, loading tabs are an optional piece on the dance floor that allows for the driver to better access his twist locks when unlocking his box. Again, it is an optional piece and may not be on all locations. Now, if you look at this truck here, this truck has two designated safe zones at the front and the back of the tractor and the trailer. Now again, this is where your safe zone for your driver is going to be while being unloaded. Again, never be on the back side of the box or in any way where that trailer, if it shifts, could hit you. Always be clear of the trailer and be in a safe zone prior to being unloaded. The next thing that I want to talk about is this yellow area all the way around this pad. Now, this is our safety barricades. This is what we use on location to signify that our dance floor is off limits to anybody, and also to keep anybody from coming into the dance floor while the forklift may be operating. Again, if this ever happens, the forklift operator will call an immediate stop work. Now, you can see from a few of these different pictures what our safety barricades look like. Again, we use cones and then connect them with either cone bars or chain. We'll also have signage on them to indicate not to come onto pad. Again, these are a few different examples of what your cone bars, barricades, and safety signs may look like. Next here is a diagram of a stand location. Again, as you can see, it's very similar to the other location. Again, we always make sure to have all of our barricades and all of our safety stuff in place. Now, there are a number of reasons why someone may need access to the dance floor, whether it be fueling, maintenance, inventory, or just even a general inspection. Again, make sure to follow our dance floor enter and exit procedure prior to getting on the dance floor. Again, as you'll hear many times, SandBox has a zero tolerance policy for any dance floor infractions. Now, a dance floor infraction is any time that this procedure is not followed and someone may get on the dance floor. So be sure to follow this procedure every time. Now we're going to go to the well site and talk a little bit more about the procedure.
So today we're going to talk about SandBox's dance floor enter and exit policy. So as we've stated before, SandBox does have a zero tolerance policy for any dance floor infractions. So if you're needing to gain access to the dance floor, make sure that you follow all the procedures with the dance floor enter and exit policy prior to going past the barricades. So, as you can see, our dance floor and working area is here. The sole person responsible for this entire area and making sure that no one is entering is the forklift operator. The forklift operator is in charge of this area because he's in charge of the forklift. So, he is the one person on site that can grant access to anybody needing to be on the dance floor. As you can see, I'm the forklift operator for this particular location, which is why I have the key on me. If anyone ever comes in to the dance floor or in our working area, it is the forklift operator's responsibility to call an immediate stop work. Now, the best way to gain access to the dance floor, if you need to, is to follow our enter and exit policy. So the first thing you would want to do is to get the attention of the forklift operator. This can be done by standing in a safe zone and waving your arms to get the forklift operator's attention. Once he has your attention, he can stop the forklift, place the forks on the ground, then take out the key and come over to ask why you need access to the dance floor. The forklift operator can then grant access if he wants to, or tell you to wait. It is the forklift operator's responsibility and his right to refuse or grant access. If he grants you access, the forklift operator must continue to keep the key on his person and to make sure that everything's safe on the dance floor. You can then start doing any kind of work that you needed to perform on the dance floor or in our working area. Now, if you're working on a forklift, riser, or anything with stored or potential energy, you want to make sure that you lock out, tag out, and then try out that piece of equipment. Again, just having the key on the forklift operator for performing work on the forklift is not a true lockout, tag out. Once your work is finished and you don't need access to the dance floor anymore, be sure to let the forklift operator know that he can resume his operations. Once you have exited the dance floor, me as the forklift operator, I will check my area and make sure that no one is still in the dance floor or our operating area prior to starting the forklift. Once I have seen that the area is clear, I'll go ahead and start my forklift and resume operations.
Anytime that you need access to the dance floor, make sure that the dance floor enter and exit procedure is followed completely. Again, that forklift operator is the sole person on location that can grant or deny access to the dance floor. So again, if you need access to the dance floor, make sure that you follow the steps of flagging down the forklift operator, having a conversation with him. If he grants you access, we'll do a JSA over the work that's going to be completed. Once a JSA is done, we'll then verify with the forklift operator that he has the key on his person and that the forklift is turned off and the forks are down. He will then grant you access to the dance floor and you'll be able to perform your work. Once you've completed any work or inspection, be sure to let that forklift operator know that you're done so that he can resume operations. Now we're going to look at a conversation on a well site to show you what this conversation should look like.
Yes, sir. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I'm the mechanic that was called out here to fix station 3 on the riser.
Cool, cool. How long do you think that's going to take you?
About 30, 40 minutes.
Perfect. We got a stage starting up in about an hour. So what we're going to do, I've got the forklift key, so I can grant you access now to go ahead and start your repairs. First, we're going to need to make sure forklift's turned off, forks are down. Are you going to be backing your service truck up onto location?
Could be.
Okay. Well, what we want to do first, before we start working on that, is we want to make sure that we do a lockout, tagout, and then we'll also do a tryout. I got to get my lead operator. He's in the mobile office. We'll go ahead and do a JSA on that real quick, and then I'll go ahead and grant you access right after that.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
Well, cool. Let me open this up, and then as soon as we get that JSA filled out, you can get to work.
Okay.
Once you're done with your work, make sure that you let me know so that I can go ahead and check the area again, make sure that no one's in the area before we resume operations.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Now that we've gone over all of the steps involved with the dance floor enter and exit procedure, as well as shown you a mock conversation about how to gain access properly to the dance floor, I hope that you better understand this procedure. Again, SandBox has a zero tolerance policy for any dance floor infractions, so make sure that you're following this procedure anytime that access to the dance floor is needed. Also, if anybody ever gets on the dance floor, it is your responsibility to call a stop work. Again, this procedure must be followed at all times if access is needed, whether that be a SandBox employee, a contractor, a frac hand, or even the company man. Make sure that everybody on location understands our procedure. Now, as you can see, we've got a one-pager. This one-pager is designed for you to print this off and share it with people on site. This one-pager goes over the steps involved for the dance floor enter and exit policy, as well as having a mock conversation showing how to properly gain access. Again, feel free to print these off and hand them out to anybody on location. Again, always remember, nobody gets hurt today.